Good morning, brothers and sisters, families and friends. I think I try to make a habit out of this, sharing something with you in the wee mornings of the hour. It's a little after 5 o'clock right now. Yeah, a little after 5. Probably could have looked at my phone. I didn't mess with that. And I'm going to share some poetry. Yeah. Well, it's poetic, not particularly poetry. And I like to classify it as such because I was feeling poetic when I wrote it. But I was sitting in prison and asking myself, what do I want? Like right now, if I could have what I want, what would it be? What are the things that I am missing? And that's what I even titled it, The Things I Am Missing. And yesterday we had a first class in, what is the exact name of that class? Let's see. Access to Pathways program. And the man, Mr. Lowry, all right, very enthusiastic, articulate man, full of character. He has that personality that get you crunk if you're down in the slump for too long. But he asked the question, like, how would we rate our happiness? 1 to 10. 1 being like, I just don't have no happiness. 10 being, I'm ecstatic. I am replete with happiness. And I was looking, like, okay, how they going to grade their happiness? Because I know where I was immediately. I was at a 10. I'm talking about, like, if I could press past the 10, that's what I was trying to do. And it's simply because I have a context for how happy I am. A lot of the things that I've been missing in life, that I had been missing in prison, they were well in my hands or well within my reach or in my vision to grasp. I'm here. If I'm not happy, man, what's wrong with me? Something is twisted about my mindset if I don't find happiness in this. And so these people, okay, my fellow students in the class, being free themselves, I just assume that, there'll be, 10s and 9s and 8s, maybe nothing lower than a 7. We got some 2s out of that group, some 3s, some 5s. In fact, there were only 2 other 10s, and that was from one of the ladies who was co-facilitating the class and Mr. Lowry himself. And then the lady who was co-facilitating the class, she kind of changed her number to an 8.5 because she felt that she had not attained or accomplished and achieved a lot of the things that she was setting out to do. And just by reason of not accomplishing those things quite yet, that was a source of unhappiness, or it didn't allow her to get to the fullness of her happiness. And I understood that, and that pretty much was the gist of how everyone else viewed their unhappiness or why they had yet to get to that 10. They did not have in their hands or in their heart the things that they envisioned that they wanted to do and wanted to be in life. And being in the class was a part of them getting there. So hopefully by the end of this class, they will increase their happiness scale. Me, I don't have everything in hand that I hope to accomplish and achieve and to acquire. However, I am so positioned now that I know that I will get everything in my hand that I have envisioned in my mind and I so desire in my heart, because I'm in the place where you can make it happen. It just takes time. It just takes dedication. It just takes some adjustments when you don't quite meet the results that you wanted to meet in a particular day. But I'm happy because though I don't have it all at the moment, there's nothing stopping me from getting it. And I'm going to get it. And when I get it, it's going to be good. And the process itself is just a wonderful experience to me because I've never been in this space before. I've never been in the space where I can pursue something and not be hindered by something like count time or confinement or shakedown or just simply the perimeter, the fences and the razor wire that keep a man from extending, that allow him to only go but so far. So in the mindset of not being able to pursue my dreams and not being able to have in my hands the things that I desired and the things that I desired so deeply, I wrote this, a list of the things I am missing. And perhaps you could sit down, when you have the time, when you have all your sanity and clarity of mind intact, or perhaps, when you're going crazy. And perhaps you can think through all the craziness and find out what it is that you're missing, and then ask yourself, can I pursue it? Is there anything hindering me from going toward what I want and from acquiring and laying hold of, grasping, grabbing, and keeping what it is that I want? And only you can answer that question. I can't answer it for you. But what I will do is to give you kind of an idea. I'll answer it for myself or share with you how I answered it for myself. And then perhaps that might be an encouragement and a little bit of an insight for you. Okay, the things I am missing. Number one on my list was spice and spontaneity. Yes, I was missing spice and spontaneity. Prison becomes so dull. Oh man, I can't begin to tell you how dull, how flavorless prison is, down to the food, the atmosphere, the environment, some of the people, most of the people around you. Very dry, very flavorless. Number two, a forum equal in size to the tenor of my voice and the intelligence behind the words flowing through the current of it. Whether it is the words that I speak or the words that I write, my world, prison, incarceration, this perpetual state of subservience is much too small for their discourse. So I am forced to withhold much of what I want to say or have written, muzzled by ears that cannot hear and minds satiated with stupidity. That was number two, kind of long, right? Number three, laughter that does not echo back to me. Number four, the space to enlarge without finding myself pressing against the inside of a box so that I end up becoming a square or a rectangular has-been before I am able to finally break free from the monotony and mediocrity of limited living. Number five, smiles that are not punctuated with sadness. Have you ever seen those kinds of smiles? Like you see they're smiling, they're happy, everything out them, the mannerisms say, hey, I'm good, I'm happy with my life. But then there's a punctuation of sadness. There's an aura of despondency. Something about them says heaviness, even though they're trying to exude or give off lightness. It's a very unfortunate thing when your happiness and your joy, your delight and your glee, what you give off to the world is only a facade. Because deep down, you're really, 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 really hurt, heavy, depressed, pressed. Yeah. Prison to do that to you, by the way. You got to put on your best face, but sometimes your best face is just a cover up for the worst feeling. All right, number six, access to all wisdom, knowledge, and understanding available to the masses. Those things peddled to me in useless or otherwise dated increments, so that my reasoning, though often sound, is often behind the times and thus deemed irrelevant. Google and I have yet to become fully acquainted. I have a few incomplete works that need only a little research to add to their intricacy and to establish their worth. Yeah, one of the things I hated about prison was that most of the time all I had by reason of research was something that I do love, and that is a dictionary. Yes, people, this is a dictionary, a hard-cover book full of words and definitions. Look, let me show you inside. It's awesome, I tell you. Okay. And then my other favorite book In fact, I love this one more than the dictionary, and it is in itself a kind of dictionary. It's called a Strong's Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible, the cheapest kind that you can get. They have much better ones than that. But guess what? What is this? All right, a little bit of notes that I wrote on a piece of paper came out of an address book. Everybody in prison, spend time in Florida prison, perhaps throughout the United States, know everything about an address book. We don't have phones where you got your contact list. You have an address book. You better write it down. Concordance. Every scripture that you might be looking for in the Bible, for every word. And then in the back, you have the Greek and Hebrew dictionary. All the words in Greek and Hebrew, a little basic definition so that you can get a better context and understanding of a particular passage of scripture, kind of part of rightly dividing the word of truth. I've gained major insights using that concordance. And, oh yeah, and of course, my study Bible, the NIV, New International Version. Of course, I have my original sword, King James. Look how worn it is. Yes, yes, much use over the years. Okay, but in reference to number 6, limited access to all the research engines that free world people have such a privilege of accessing when they have the need of enlarging their wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I have a phone. I can talk into this phone and it feeds me information. I can type into this phone and it'll pull up for me information. I can just enlarge. I mean, everything is right there. And I love that because I like to fill in those missing spots, those connecting parts with certain information. And it makes for good writing when you do good research. Okay, so that was number 6. Number 7, music and dancing and color and lights. Music and dancing and color and lights. I'm going to learn how to dance, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm going to learn how to move so smooth. I posted something yesterday. I want to marry the music in my soul with the militancy in my body. Because I can move now, but it's athletic move. It's combative moves. It's the kind of moves that, you know, I guess among men, they're awesome moves. Like, whoa, you did that. But amongst ladies and in the realm of poetry and fluidity, it doesn't work that well. So I'm going to see whether or not I can do that. Don't have time to do it now. Excuse me. El Cafe. But I will get to it. Number 8, a helper comparable to me. That is the old King James Version's translation of how God described Adam's mate, his woman, Eve. My manhood did not die when I came to prison. Oh, I know it didn't. On the contrary, I became all the more aware of it, for I was forced to protect it from all the emasculating traps and tricks of simply living in prison. I have possessed it with the tenacity of a madman, and its hunger is a daily reminder that I am indeed a man, made to subdue and conquer, to be tamed only by the presence of a woman. Yeah, I will not elaborate on that. Number 9, a dog, a cat. Either one will do. Still haven't quite got a hold of one of those, but in due time, I think I'll get both. I talked to my niece Kayla yesterday, and she has a dog and a cat. Those are her children. Those are her babies, she says. So, okay, maybe I'll give me a couple kids. Number 10, children who trust me and look at me with eyes of innocence. Their crayon drawn pictures, their songs and many questions, watching the same movie with them over and over and over again. And yes, that was one of the things I was missing, just being with the kids. Yeah, Trick love the kids. Me too. I love the kids too. I miss my son's life. He's a grown man now, 26 years old, but he has four grandchildren. Well, I have four grandchildren. He has four kids. And I love hanging out with them. Haven't seen all of them yet. A set of twins. I still have yet to lay eyes on them and hold them in my arms and give them the blessing that I have reserved for them. Hung out with my nephew Zimri the other day. That was awesome. And there's a beautiful little boy that I see on a regular basis. My boss lady at the S&D Enterprises CDC, and me and little man have become well acquainted. It's my little homie, and I look forward to seeing him grow up because I'm going to be here. But it's a beautiful thing being able to see children, watch children, love children, because here on planet Earth, that's about the greatest glimpse that you're going to get of what God is and who God is, of what he expects when it comes down to kingdom etiquette. Trusting, loving, they just live life. And that's all God wants us to do. If he takes care of everything, if all things fall up under his sovereign will, if all things work together for the good to those who love God and who are called according to his purpose, if he got you and can't nobody get him, like can't nobody touch God, period, and you're his child, you're his prince and you're his princess, you're his beloved son and daughter in whom he is well pleased, then why not just be a child? Why not just live life, man, enjoying every moment and trusting in every moment and being blessed in every moment, because that is what he called you for. Even with all the other things that impede and intrude, none of these things can separate us from the love of God. None of these things. So we should be as children. Children are great examples of how we adults, with all our intricacies and complexities, live our lives. I love the kids. I'm trying to get my girl to have a football team, like to keep having babies until the Lord closes her womb. But she's balking at that idea. And so y'all pray for me and pray for her. And hopefully we'll have babies soon. We got to get to the point where we are financially established and positioned to raise children. We want to do this the right way, the wise way. Okay, number 11. Food like I like it when I want it. Food like I like it when I want it. Something simple like some real hot pot coffee. Snacks when I want to eat snacks. Good old cooked food when I want to eat good cooked food. Whatever it is, man, I'd like to be able to eat, drink, and then eat and drink when I want to and what I want to. Not some ramen noodles, not a brick, not being forced to go to the chow hall, because if I don't go to the chow hall, if I miss this meal, it's going to be a long time till breakfast. I've been eating nonstop since I've gotten out of prison, and I have no plans of stopping to eat. Number 12, gainful and purposeful employment. I wanted me a good job that paid even when I was in prison. Unfortunately, for the whole almost 26 years that I served, I did not get paid for none of the work that I did. And I worked. When I found something that I could do, I did it with all my might. I excelled at it because I felt this is what God would have me to do with any job that I have, no matter how mediocre or monotonous it was. Work it, work it, work it, distinguish myself. I said, you know what, if I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to do it like Joseph. And God blessed me, of course. He upheld me, he sustained me. However, in all of that, I did not get one paycheck. Yeah, not $1 was put on my books that I could either use for myself or send home to my family. So I'm looking forward to getting a job that pays. Well, I've already had a few jobs out here that pay, but haven't got my ID and other things yet, so I haven't been officially inducted into that realm of employment. Number 13, a hug, a caress, being held by or holding on to someone. Yeah, some people in prison, some of the guys, they make up for this part that they're missing by holding on to each other or to themselves, between one another, some of that other kind of doing time. And not me. No, it wasn't happening. 100% straight heterosexual man. Thank you very much. Okay. That was number 13. Okay. Number 14. A face to go with the words. A face upon which to place my words. Unrestrained, uncensored, untouched communication. In-person, personal exchanges in character commodities and secrets and personalities. In essence, just being able to talk to someone on a real deep and intimate level. And I wasn't referring to a man. I was referring to having a conversation with a woman. 26 years. And then lastly, what I was missing, number 15, was freedom. And look, this is where I am. These are some of the things I am missing. A wise man once told me, each had what the other was missing. I asked him what it meant. He just said, if two people are missing a kiss, they need only to kiss each other. You see, each had what the other was missing. And then I had to add number 16, a kiss. I am missing that too. And I will have you to know I've had me a great many kisses since I've been out of prison.